Is this enough? Is Dennis Schröder really going to make a huge difference?
I think he's better than Podziemski. Full stop. So on that move alone, more Dennis Schröder, less Brandon Podziemski sounds like a value add right there. Dennis Schröder, the Warriors making, I'm telling you, man, we have not seen much out of Mike Dunleavy Jr., but the little bit that we've seen, I like the way this guy does business. Trading the damaged goods of DeAnthony Melton's contract plus 3 second-rounders for Dennis Schröder is a great trade for the Warriors, just looking at it from their point of view. And it leaves the Warriors with all of their first-round picks, Wiggins, Trace Jackson-Davis, obviously Jonathan Kuminga, as they ponder bigger moves possibly down the road. This was a first-to-market place way before the trade deadline. I got a problem right now. I can address it right now. Type of aggressive move that I'm glad Mike Dunleavy Jr. made. I really like it, Cyrus.
It was a move that was obviously needed. There's no doubt about that. I've been saying for the last week, I don't think we've talked since the trade went down, and I'm really glad we're doing this now. I was the one out there who's been saying I'm a little underwhelmed by this, simply because I thought back to when DeAnthony Melton was signed, literally, while we were doing a live show, and our instant reaction to that, thinking, does that address the Warriors' need as 6'3" guard? And then we saw him blow us away on the court, and I came around. I'm guessing you came around, and it was like, all right, this DeAnthony Melton worked out. And now I feel like it's deja vu. I feel like we're in the exact same place again, only now it's December, and we're telling ourselves. At least, I don't know if you feel this way, but when I saw it, I'm like, is that really what they needed? Is a 6'1" guard who, until this season, no one ever thought of as a scorer or even like as anyone considered elite? Yes, he's having a fantastic season this year. He is playing 36 minutes a game. People have to remember that with these stats. 36 minutes a game. If Kuminga's getting 36 minutes a game, he's putting up 25 points, grabbing 7 rebounds a game. That's a lot of minutes. He's not going to get that much with the Warriors. He also puts up nearly 3 turnovers a game. And I thought turnovers was a massive issue with the Golden State Warriors. With that said, I don't hate the move, obviously. They need him. It's going to be an infusion of energy. It's going to be an infusion of the type of skill sets that the Warriors have been lacking out there that Brandon Podziemski clearly is not suited for, clearly. And my great fear, Damon, and this is where I'd love to ask you, because I do love the Schröder trade. I don't think it's nearly enough if a 5th championship is the goal, but it's a good start, like you said. What I'm wondering is this enough? Is Dennis Schröder really going to make a huge difference?
I think he's better than Podziemski. Full stop. So on that move alone, more Dennis Schröder, less Brandon Podziemski sounds like a value add right there. I also think that this is the first of something else that's going to come, or this will now be the move that really reveals the final piece of what do you need. Or maybe Schröder comes in and it's like back to the strength and numbers thing that they were trying to make happen earlier in the year. And that
they were, Damon, 12-3 to start the season.
Yeah. Look, Schröder is a pain in the ass, man.
Yes, he is.
And I like that about him. I was talking to Larry at the very end of Wake Up this morning. He asked me what I thought about the new, all-star format that the NBA is going to try out this year. And I'm sure we'll get to that at the end of the show today.
Let's save that for later. Yeah.
There are a lot of great athletes in this league right now. The dogs are hard to find.
True. That's a good point.
Schröder's a dog. Schröder's a dog, man. He's a dog. He plays both ways. He doesn't play great both ways. He's not a great defender, but he's always jumping into passing lanes. He's always pesky. He's always played well against the Warriors. So I feel like I'm always watching the best of Dennis Schröder.
Good point.
I will take what that guy offers and think it's going to be good for the team. I think he's going to be a good, easy plug-and-play player for Steve Kerr. And I'm excited to see what gravity of Steph Curry does to Schröder, the player, because he is more of a drive and kick than just shoot guy. And let's see what happens.
Somebody posted this on Twitter, Bart Domingo, and I got to give him love because it's pure comedy. If we were watching a game and you see a lineup of Steph, Schröder, Buddy, Podziemski, Gary Payton II, my great fear is we're really going to see this. I know I'm being facetious posting this, and the person who posted this Hobbit-sized lineup.
If you can run a big and a power forward is kicking your ass off the court with that for like 5-6 minutes, okay. But there is no winning formula there. This is something that you might have to do at some point, but it's certainly not something that you would want to do.
I think Podziemski has a lot of value for the Golden State Warriors as a backup point guard, right? And I think they could have used him like that this season instead of throwing him out there to make him this all-around playmaker where you're relying on him for points and all those intangibles that he normally brings. He's a backup point guard at this stage of his career. To have him and Draymond on the court together, I am excited about that, Damon.
It's another ball handler, which I think the Warriors are always short of a ball handler. For a team that loves small ball, you'd think there'd be better ball handling. There'd be fewer turnovers, but we know that that's always been sort of part of the Warriors' DNA, which is also, you talk about Warriors' DNA, that brings us to the three-point shot.
Yeah.
A combined NBA record, combined 47, 48 made threes in its last game that they played, and they lose to the Dallas Mavericks. Clay played well. Luka played out of his mind, and the Warriors, even though they hit a ridiculous amount of threes, were really never even in the game. And that, to me, highlighted what is a problem that more people are talking about this week than just last week, that the dorks in the NBA have so thoroughly embraced that 3 is worth more than 2, that there's no going back. And because of this, there is a lack of shot creation. There's a lack of non-repetitive trip down the floor after trip down the floor. It is somebody tries to go to the rack, usually doesn't get there, kicks it out, and a three-point shot is launched. It's happening too many times in a basketball game, and the NBA is starting to address, what do we do here? Our game is not as enjoyable to watch as it used to be. There's a problem, Cyrus, and the Warriors, they're at the start of the problem. They're not going to be the ones to end the problem either, because the minute the three-point shot is devalued, the Warriors as competitors become devalued.
Right.
So being a Warrior fan, being a Warrior content creator, whatever, and crapping on the three-point shot sounds a little like, you're working against yourself. But the NBA needs to do something, man. The NBA needs to do something other than have teams combined to shoot 63s. There's nothing in sports that I want to see 60 of in one sporting event.
That's fair. To me, like a 3-point heavy game is similar to watching someone play the game pop a shot. We're not sitting here no one is interested in watching someone play pop a shot. You're just sitting there trying to make shots. Like, that has never been the appeal of the NBA. The inside-outside game, the mid-range, driving, slam dunks carry value, feeding it to the big man inside for the easy 2, and watching a one-on-one offensive battle between two bigs. Those were all interesting facets of a game that, you're right, has become very one-dimensional with the three-point shot. Look, the Warriors did it because they had 2 of the greatest, literally, greatest shooters in the NBA in their backcourt at the same time. What did you expect them to do? To me, the finger pointing here is more across the board for teams that aren't loaded with three-point shooters that are still doing it anyways. Right. That is egregious. And I had Rick Barry last week, and we were talking about this, like some ideas to change the game. One idea I had, which he initially was like, hell no, until I revealed, I'm like, well, this idea is to counter this heavy 3-point influence on the game, and that is, what if you made slam dunks worth 3 points? Like, because you suddenly see a million more dunks. I know that's a potentially foolish idea. I'm just using it as an example for a case study here. I think there's going to have to be some sort of rule change. There's going to have to be some sort of something involved here to bring back diversity in a game that was rich with it. That is now, you're right. It's just three.
Before we need to make the dunk a 3-point shot, I'd rather you just eliminate the 3.
Ooh,
that's
an interesting one.
Just eliminate.
You just take it out.
Just eliminate. Like, if you guys want to, if you got a shooter who's out here just knocking down 25 footers, God bless you. You're like, go ahead. But those are worth 2. Dunks are worth 2. Everything on a basketball is worth 2, except for free throws, and that's it. I mean, you want to take care of this and nip it in the bud. You do that. I think the big mistake would be, let's make every shot worth 3 points.
Here's another idea too that will not change the actual game itself. I doubt you'll see less threes, but another idea I proposed with Rick, and I'd love to shoot it with you, because I think this was an idea he was actually really into, and I'd love to know your thoughts.
Rick's proposal is no shots count unless they're shot underhanded.
Underhanded, absolutely. Yeah, you got to look like a grandmother there. No, save the free throws for the end of the quarters. Meaning, if someone gets fouled and you got 2 free throws coming up, you're not shooting it then. Game goes on. At the end of each quarter, whatever amount of free throws each team has, now you're involved in like a hockey style shootout only with free throws. Maybe penalty kicks in soccer is a bit more apropos, but you're saving those for the end of the quarters. So now at the end of fourth quarters, instead of this lame, boring back and forth timeout, free throws, foul, you're ending that boring crap. Like it's not an Elon ending, but it's still a lot way more titillating because what if a team is down 8, but then you have 10 free throws? Now you're glued to the TV. You want ratings to go up? Do something like that. Your thoughts?
I always hate radical rule changes to address a problem that is probably born out of laziness.
Fair.
And that's what I think is going on here. Like the way that the NBA is thinking about restructuring the All-Star game. Well, there are elements of it that will be interesting. Anything that is new is, by definition, interesting. We haven't seen this before. You get rising stars playing veterans. Okay, that's a little interesting right there. Turn it into a round robin type of thing. Okay, interesting. But the only reason why we have to do that is because you forgot how to play basketball like it matters when a whole bunch of people are watching. Like, play defense, have some pride, go out and actually play. I don't know when it became cool to mail in all-star games, but that all-star needs to be found and beaten within an inch of his life. I used to watch all-star games as a kid. And,
I did too. I did too.
Second and third quarter would sort of bottom out and there'd be a little bit more. It doesn't really matter. But that first quarter would start hair on fire. And the fourth quarter was straight up playoff level basketball moments of war in NBA All-Star games. And that concept is so foreign. Like, how could you even explain to a guy who's looking to load manage playoff minutes that this NBA All-Star game matters? That the NBA has allowed the inmates to run the asylum for just a little bit too long, and no one can yell at a player and say, play harder, you anymore. This is why Draymond Green still has crazy value in this league, because Draymond can look at you and say, play harder, you and you will.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Tune into the Damon Bruce Show live on YouTube every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.